Hey everybody, welcome. It's Andrew Ainsworth Golf Academy. As always, a very warm welcome. Thanks for spending your time watching my videos. I do appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, just click on that button down the bottom and then you'll be subscribed. Thank you for that. So, fashionably late as always on the review. I've got in my hand here the Cobra SZ Speed Zone iron, which is new for this year. I want to tell you all about it. It's quite an exciting club. There is a little bit of a sting in the tail with this club, which you're either going to love or you hate. That'll come towards a little bit later in the video. So, as always, first part of my videos last about 5 minutes or so, and I tell you all about the tech spec. If you're not interested in the tech spec, then I suggest you advance the video on about 5-6 minutes and you get to the hitting bit. But otherwise, I'll just tell you a little bit about this golf club, how it works, how Cobra think they've made it better and longer and more forgiving and all the rest of the stuff. So let's dive right in and do that first of all. Let's give you a little close-up on some nice video just to show you what this club looks like. So as you can see, it's very shiny, full chrome sort of finish to it. On the top of the club, on the top edge here, which you'll be seeing any second, we've got this carbon top line, which delivers ultra low center of gravity for speed and launch. So it's the first time I've seen carbon going in to the top of the club there. So that's quite an innovative, tough word to say this time of the morning, design. What else can we tell you? We've got this forged PWR shell face insert. So basically the insert of the club is separate to the body, and then they weld. I don't know how they do the welding, but it's very clever because you can't see it. They weld this face actually onto the body of the club. It's a milled face, it's forged, and the idea here is it says it's 35% larger sweet spot. Now my question there would be 35% larger than what? The previous club? What club? So anyway, that's what it's saying, 35% larger sweet spot. 8% deeper undercut to increase ball speed, so undercut right down at the bottom there. We've got speed back shape, pitches above somewhere, more stability on off-center hits, extreme heel and toe weighting creates center of gravity, lower center of gravity, I guess, and a higher MOI. MOI, for those of you not in the know, is a buzzword used so much in the golfing industry now. MOI stands for moment of inertia. And the best understanding I've got of that is resistance to twisting. So really trying to keep the face as stable as possible to keep the ball going as straight as possible. We see MOI in drivers, we see it in putters and irons. So resistance to twisting, stability, I guess, is the best way. If anyone's got a better description of it or understanding, please post comments down below. I don't profess to know everything about golf clubs. In fact, probably very little sometimes. So speed back shape, yes, covered that one. Shafts. I believe there are some custom fit option shafts on this, but I'm not up to speed on that yet. The standard graphite is a UST recoil, which is a great shaft, and the standard steel shaft is a KBS 290. Details down below on flexes and weights for those of you interested. The shaftoids out there, you might want to see what the weights are and bend points and all the rest of it. Standard Lamkin crossline grip, and fitted as standard to pretty much all the Cobra clubs this year is this Connect grip, which is a system which will track your shots. You have to subscribe to an app which generally goes onto your phone, and every time you hit the shot it gets recorded, the data records onto it, and it starts to build up a profile of how far you're hitting each iron. Clever system, but there are charges involved. I think you get a I don't know how long it is, 90 days or 30 days, and then you have to pay for it. But anyway, you can say standard sets come with Connect. You can have them made with just standard grips on there, but it's a nice crossline grip on there. Right, this is where we get to the slightly contentious bit. Golf manufacturers are going down this route of distance all the time. It's like we're the longest club on the market. Our club hits it further and further. And to be honest, it bothers me this a little bit because, well, let's tell you a bit about it. Let me put this into some perspective first of all. If we had a Mizuno MP20 bladed iron, picture up here somewhere, players sort of club, traditional lofts, on a 7-iron you'd be looking at 34 degrees. Okay, let's now go to a Ping G410 7-iron. I think the loft on that is either 30 or 30.5 in a 7-iron, okay? We get to this fella here, the Speed Zone, 7-iron loft. Want to guess what it is? 27.5 degrees. 27.5 degrees on a 7-iron. Pitching wedge loft is 42.5 degrees. 4-iron loft is 19 degrees. Now this is where I like Cobra, don't get me wrong. You know, and it's not just Cobra who are doing this. TaylorMade are doing it, Callaway are doing it, lots of other companies are cranking lofts up. This isn't a 7-iron, folks, this is a 6-iron. That's all that's happened. We've made the club a little bit longer and we've strengthened the loft, and people are hitting this 7-iron thinking, oh, I'm hitting this 7-iron 170 yards or 150 yards, and, you know, brilliant. Well, come on. No, who are we kidding here? This is a 6-iron loft. That's all that's happened. And it kind of annoys me a little bit because some people are getting suckered into this as a sort of a selling point. Well, distance is wonderful, but, you know, accuracy is far more important. And the problem you've got when you start to jack the lofts up like this or down is a 4-iron, for instance, becomes 19 degrees of loft. Now, a lot of golfers won't be able to launch a 4-iron at that loft. If they do, it's going so low you'll never stop it. And also, you're going to need 2 gap wedges potentially. If the pitching wedge is 42.5 degrees, you're going to need something ideally around about 47, another one at sort of 51, 52, then a sand wedge, then maybe a lob wedge. So we're creating massive gaps at one end between pitching wedge and your next wedge, and at the lower end, you're creating irons which a lot of golfers can't hit. So I'm not in favour of that. I still think it's a good golf club, but I'm just a little bit disappointed that manufacturers are going down this route. And I know they're all doing it and they all have to sort of chase each other for the sales, but don't be fooled. This 7-iron's a 6-iron. That aside, let's go and hit it. Quick chat about the price. 7-iron sets here in the UK at the moment, so that'd be, let's say, I don't know, 5 to gap wedge or 4 to pitching wedge. You're looking at $6.99 in steel, and you're looking at around about $7.99 in graphite. Let's go and hit some, see what crazy distances we get with this club. All right, everybody, time to put the Cobra King Speed Zone iron through its paces. As usual, I'm going to do a variable speed test for you. I'm going to try and vary the club speeds so the speeds that I'm hitting the ball at might be more relevant to what you do. I'm going to try and go for something mid-70s, then up into the 80s, and then we'll lean on a couple and we'll go from there. So I hope you like that idea. Some of you comment and say it's a good idea and it's better for you because you can get the real numbers. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. So first thing, just to say about the actual look of the club. You know, it's a nice looking golf club. I don't mind this carbon fibre top edge. When you first look at it, you think, oh, what's that? But it's not unattractive. The actual shape of the head, you know, is pretty nice on the eye. It's quite rounded in the toe. It's not too... I mean, it is quite chunky, but I've seen a lot chunkier than that. So visually, as I lay the club down, I like it. But the first thing I do, my eyes are pretty attuned to loft after looking at golf clubs for most of my life. But as soon as I lay that down, my brain says that's a 6-iron because that's what it is. It's 27.5 degrees. Anyway, let's get in there. Let's hit a few shots, see what we get. Shaft fitted in this is a KBS 290, standard length, standard lie in a regular flex. That's what we're going to hit. Okay, here we go. Okay, so there's one which feels like it's coming in at round about mid to high 70s, I would say. Remember that GC2 that I use here is not bang on accurate for club speed. It's not far off. It probably underdoes club speed by a couple of miles an hour. You can go on ball speeds if you want, but we'll say roughly about 75 miles an hour of club speed, 100 miles an hour of ball speed. I've got a 140 carry, predicted run out 154, 20.5 degree launch angle, spinning at 4639. So any of you swinging the club mid-70s-ish, and remember this is not an exact science, that gives you an idea of what this club's going to do. Let's try and move the club speeds up into the low 80s for you. It's pretty good. Guessing time, 81. I'm going to guess that. What have we got? 79. He was a couple of miles an hour out. Anyway, we'll take it. That's kind of the number I was looking for. So 79, 80 miles an hour-ish, ball speeds up to 107, launches at 19.4, spinning at 4.6, and all of a sudden, carry distance has gone to 152. So if you're the golfer who's swinging it round about 80 miles an hour, this club, dependent on strike, remember that distances are not just about your club speed, it's about where you strike it on the club face, how you deliver the club to the ball, loft angle, spin axis, backspin rates, all these things will affect how far you hit the ball. Let's say you put a good strike on it, that's what you're going to expect. So 152 carry, predicted run out there, obviously dependent on ground conditions, saying 166. Now, middle of the winter over here in the UK, balls are pitching and stopping, summertime, could be running out to whatever. Now then, shall we start to build some club speeds? I'm going to go after this one a little bit, and this is where things get a little bit crazy distance-wise, so I'm going to lean on one here, see if we can keep it under control directionally. It's going to go a little bit left. I'll leave it in there. We know that when we pull the ball, tend to inflate yardage a little bit because we take some loft off the club, but let's just leave that in just as a bit of an indication as to what this club, I mean, it's miles left. I mean, it's missed the green by about 4 miles, that one, but club speed's approaching 90 miles an hour, ball speed's up at 120-ish, launch is low because I've closed the face on it a little bit, pulled it, but the carry distance there was 174, predicted run out 190, which, you know, for a 7-iron, which it's not, is a long way, isn't it? Let's try and hit one a little bit straighter. Might send this one up the right. Shafts, regular shafts, a little bit light and a bit whippy at these club speeds, so we'll factor that in. Well, that was a bit bottomy, that one. And again, you can see I'm fighting this overdraw with this shaft a little bit. So I will try and hole one off this time. 171. Try and deliver this one a little bit more out to in, with face slightly open to the path. Oh, hard work, isn't it? Hard work to try and control this one. I'm going to go one more. I've got an idea. There we go. That's the one I've been waiting for. Got that one just where I wanted it. And this is where we see these crazy numbers coming in. I mean, look at this for a shot. So club speed looks again like we're hovering into the sort of 90, just shy of 90. Ball speed at 120. Launch is quite low, 17 degrees. Spin rate 4.3. Would that stop on the green? It would struggle at that. But carry distance 177 carry. Predicted run out 191. So, as we expected, some big, long hitting distances. It's a great golf club, and I can see why Cobra have built this club, because everyone else in this sector, Callaway, TaylorMade, Wilson, Ping to a degree, I guess, with some of their irons, not quite as strong, are going down these long distance route. So, you know, if you're looking for a club which will propel the ball some serious distance, then this will do it. But just don't be fooled by the lofts. That's it. That's my review on the Cobra King Speed Zone irons. Hope you enjoyed it. Post your comments down below on your thoughts on strong lofted irons. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? You know, it's here to stay, I think, for a little bit longer. But it is what it is. Thanks for watching again. All the best. Bye for now.